Hey guys, Jamiy. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Obviously I'm recording this one just after we saw the Route 5, I guess, leak, the image that they showed us, which in the actually mentions in the next update that we'll be getting a new battle theatre. Now that got me thinking, what could the future battle theatres be? Obviously, if we look at the first battle theatre, it was actually a dual typing. If you didn't know, it was actually light and dark type. So they could potentially do more dual types in the future for these battle theatres, or gyms as people still call them. But it doesn't necessarily mean all of the gyms in the future will be dual typings. I would imagine this could be some singular ones, and I guess they could do a triple one if they really wanted to, but I feel like that might be a bit too much. I feel like dual typings, if the typings work together, could be really cool. So that got me thinking, what could be really cool as a dual typing gym or battle theatre in the future? And I've been thinking, what typings go really well together? So obviously, right now, if you look at the game's typings list, we have 17 types. Obviously, from Pokemon, they got rid of the rock typing, or more or less combined it with the earth typing. So that means instead of 18, we have 17. Obviously, then, since that's an odd number, we can take off light and darkness. We've already had those as battle theatres. I wouldn't imagine them to do more battle theatres with the same types that they've already used. It also will leave us with 15, but let's get rid of Type Plus. Again, Type Plus in this game is a little bit different. Right now, only Twilight has it. The only problem is, with Type Plus being in this game and really not going to be doing anything in the future, as we know that most of the typings are seen as like an elemental sort of thing, and also you can't have a Type Plus with an elemental, because also the elemental typing will override the Type Plus typing, as we can see with Twilight's evolutions, Dark and Light, for Umbra and Luxor. So we're probably not going to get very many Type Plus things, or if we are, they're just going to be pure typing. There's maybe a couple typings that could go dual typing with Type Plus, but for the sake of this video, let's just remove Type Plus out of the equation, I guess, for this. So that leaves us with 14 types, and if they are going to be doing the same thing Pokemon did with like 8 gyms, that means we have 7 more gyms to go, which means we could technically get all of the typings in this now. So anyway, I have an idea, and I've put together a list of 10 potential dual typings that I think would be really cool to see them add into the game as battle theatres or gyms. But I want to ask you guys as well, let me know in the comments, what dual typing would you think is the best for a battle theatre or gym? And it could either be because you like that typing, you think it would go really well together, you think they could really pull it off with like some sort of like building effects, as also light and dark definitely complement each other, and it's kind of like a yin and yang sign. If you look at the badge, it's got that kind of vibe to it, so it looks really cool. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think would be really cool typings for them to add into the future battle theatres. But anyway, let's hop into this. Okay, so jumping straight into it then, I would say Fire Water I'm going to put as my like 10th spot. Really cool typing. It's always been really interesting to see Water and Fire being put together, especially like in the Pokemon and also coming over from Pokemon. I mean, and it would make sense, I guess, if we look at it from Pokemon Break Bronze's stance, where also they had the volcano, and down the line we actually got Volcanion, which also kind of was like protecting them, I guess, from the volcano erupting and stuff like that, which also was a Fire Water typing. So definitely will be interesting to see them potentially do something with Fire and Water. So for that reason, if they are going to be adding a volcano into this game, which if they are, it would either be Brimba, or again, if they are changing the map entirely, we could potentially see a volcano down the line somewhere else. But I definitely feel like Fire Water, if there is a volcano, kind of makes sense, because also water will be able to like protect the I know that like the citizens or the towns surrounding the volcano, but also because it's a fire typing as well, it's not gonna take too much damage itself, trying to, I guess, protect the city, if that makes any sense. So for that reason, I'm gonna put Fire Water as my 10th slot. Okay, so for my 9th slot, I'm gonna put Bug and Toxic together. Now, thinking about Toxic, there's quite a few typings I would say that can go well with Toxic, but for the Bug typing, I really can't see too many things really going with it, and they can't really complement them very well. Also, there can be some bugs that are Toxic typing, and we've seen like stuff like Pider and Swalder. So definitely, I feel like I guess the best pairing for Bug is probably Toxic. I mean, Toxic, again, can go with other typings pretty well, but I feel like for Bug, it's very limited. Like, Bug Fire, kind of weird. Like, Bug Ice, kind of weird. I mean, they could go together, but it's just kind of weird, and I feel like Bug and Toxic just kind of benefit, because also we're going to be getting probably a lot of Bug and Toxic typings together. I mean, look at Terrafly, we've got Swalder, so already from starting the game, we've got quite a couple of Bug and Toxic types, so obviously there is a chance that they could potentially do like a Bug and Toxic Battlefield in the future. Not more or less like, kind of like, I guess not as interesting as like the Fire Water reasoning, but really, thinking about it, there really isn't like another option in my opinion for Bug. Like, the only other thing I can really see is maybe Bug and Metal, but that's still, in my opinion, pushing it a little bit. So I feel like Bug and Toxic is like a good fit for each other, and it'll definitely be cool to see them in the future come back and add even more powerful Bug typings, and not just leaving the Bug typings very early game in Gale Forest, and also later down the line, no one's probably really going to be using Bugs, so we'll have to see about that. But I definitely feel like Bug and Toxic is like a good, I guess, 9th slot to put them in for me. Okay, for my 8th slot, I would actually put together maybe Mind and Brawler, mainly for the fact that there's the saying Brain or Brawn, which obviously you still can have both of them, but most people would either go with either being really, really strong over being really smart, although some people definitely would pick smarts over Brawn, I guess, as well, so definitely could see them complementing each other, whereas also one, I would say, being Brawler, is very, very hard physical hitting, and then also Mind being kind of like in a back, kind of like a mage sort of stuff. So you got your Brawler guy that's just going to town and being on the front lines, and then your Minds kind of like being on the back lines, hitting them with ranged attacks or special attacks, because also in this game we have melee attack and range attack, which I think definitely would also benefit each other very well. So we could potentially see, I can see these two typings going really, really well with each other, so definitely be interesting to see that for me. Okay, for my 7th slot, this one actually could be somewhat interesting, but I would actually pair Spirit and Ancient together. Now, this could be a really, really cool dual typing, mainly for the fact that also if you look at the Ancient typing, that's more of like an ancient mythology, like, and just mythical beasts or creatures, and then also Spirit being like the undead, and if you put them together, I feel like they could get some really, really cool either Loomians if they wanted to do a Spirit Ancient typing, or they could just still really complement each other, since they're both kind of like, oh, they're super, super old, or like, also if they're like a Spirit, it's probably because they died a long time ago and stuff like that, so kind of interesting, and I think it's not like the best in the world, but I feel like they could complement each other in that sense, so again, could be kind of interesting to see that kind of be a thing. But anyway, on to the next. Okay, for my 6th slot, I would actually pair Earth and Air together. Also, you've got like your ground and then your flying star stuff, but also in this game, Air is more portrayed as a airbender rather than a flying typing, which is why I also know it's Air. So I still feel like Earth and Air can still be very, very good, a good pairing. Maybe not the best, but for the fact that also you've got your Earth, which also is like controlling like the ground and stuff like that, then also your Air still portraying, I guess, like the wind and stuff. So I feel like together they could be a pretty cool typing together. Okay, for my 5th slot, I would actually put together maybe the Water-Earth pairing, mostly for the fact that obviously you've got your lands and I guess the oceans kind of sense, kind of like the Groudon and Kyogre from Pokemon, kind of just makes sense to go to each other. I guess as well it could like maybe be water and plant, but I think Water and Earth is a little bit more fitting in comparison, although that's really it. There's not really any more reasoning behind that, just like Water and Earth like kind of makes sense to go together, so for my 5th slot, I'm gonna put those there. Okay, for my 4th slot, not exactly the best typing I would say to go together, but I'm actually gonna put Bug and Ancient together, mostly because bugs are usually seen as these tiny little insect-style creatures, which are like really tiny, and I feel like it'd be a pretty funny gimmick if they are paired with like the ancient mythology and mythical creatures that are usually going to be like a lot bigger than the bug typing. So I feel like that'll just be a pretty funny typing, really. Like, it doesn't really go very well with each other, but just because it sounds funny, and I could definitely see it being used, I thought sure, we'll throw it in because, I mean, ancient kind of just goes with anything as well, to be honest, so there's that. Okay, for my 3rd slot, I would actually put together Water and Electric. Now, in this game, they're actually both weak to each other. Water is super effective against Electric, and Electric is super effective against Water. It's actually pretty cool in my opinion. I understand that some people don't think it's actually very good for them to do, but I think it would be pretty cool to see them as being put together. Now, honestly, there could be like another typing very similar to this one, kind of like Electric and Metal, since it has Metal conducts electricity and also water as well, like lets electricity run through it fairly easily. So definitely would say in the Water Electric typing could be a very fitting pair. Okay, so this one's kind of a similar typing that I've already put together, but I would actually put together Fire and Ice, kind of for the same reasons for Fire and Water. This list also isn't really like put together in any specific order, but as far as throwing some typings, I think it's pretty cool, and I think this typing, in my opinion, is a little bit cooler than the Fire-Water typing, which is Fire and Ice. Again, same principle, the fire can melt the ice, also ice becomes water, plus out the fire. I feel like it could be like a pretty cool typing, and I mean, if you don't watch My Hero, I mean, Todoroki, if I even said that right, I mean, it's just a dual typing that I can potentially see them potentially adding in the future. Definitely will be a cool sight to see. Anyway, on to the number 1. Okay, so for number 1, I'm actually kind of a little bit biased, I won't lie. Also coming over from Pokemon, my favourite typing in Pokemon was Steel, my favourite Pokemon was Metagross, which, if you don't know, Steel is Metal as well, I guess, in this game. It's known to be like it's very defensive, but it's pretty decent on offensive as well. I mean, if you look at Metagross, it's good defensively, but when it Mega Evolves, it is really good offensively now as well. So it's a pretty cool typing in my opinion, and I don't know if it's going to be my favourite in Loomian Legacy. We've only really seen 2 metal typings, which I still think look really cool. Valkyrie and Serenite, the metal typing and metal features on them definitely complements the style and the evolution line, I guess, in my opinion. But taking metal, kind of, I guess not too super futuristic, but let's just say like somewhat futuristic. Now let's take another typing, white, like Ancient, which also Ancient, in my opinion, for this game, it looks more to be like a mythological sort of thing, like mythical beasts and like mythical, like mythology from like way back in the past, like is super old. If you take also your really old Ancient typing and your somewhat new metal typing and mesh them together, I could definitely see some really cool combinations with this. Also, I would definitely think metal and ancients as on a Loomian would be really cool, but like metal robotics, if they are going to be doing like robot sort of stuff with the metal typing, or if they're just going to keep them like accessories, kind of like armor, which still would be pretty good. Like also you're giving metallic armor to your mythical creatures, which still is pretty high tech to what they would be used to. So definitely would be really cool to see a metal ancient, a dual typing for a battle theater. But that's really where I'm going to leave it off. Again, I had this idea to this video just off the top of my head, and I thought it'd be really cool to see what you guys thought as well. But this list wasn't really in any particular order, to be honest. I was kind of threw in the typings wherever I wanted them. Like, for example, I would probably, if I were to put this in order, I would probably put the Tyre Plus 2 at the very end. I think that would be cool, but the other typing just would be cool with something else. So Again, not any particular order, but let me know in the comments down below what you guys think would actually be your favourites or your most wanted to see dual typings for battle theatres or gyms. But again, I actually might do a part 2 of this if you guys really want a part 2, going into some other typings I would think would be really cool still. So again, my favourite typings I would like to see right now is like a metal ancient sort of thing. Again, I still love metal, and I mean it's ancients. Who doesn't like mythological creatures or mythical creatures and stuff like that? And just slap on the metal armor or any like robot parts on that would be really heckin' cool. So for my reasoning, that's why I chose that, really, just because I thought it would look really cool. But I'm gonna leave it off here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.